Yes! We're doing it again. It's another episode of Music Notes. Ladies and gentlemen, little girls and little boys, keep it going, y'all. Keep it going. All right. Okay. All right, hush. Today's another episode of Music Notes. And we're trying some different stuff today. Apparently we're trying a mop handle background today. We got new lighting, of course. And a glimpse of half of this month's giveaway, which is going to be one of my favorite water bottles. You probably won't get to pick the color, but that's okay. And a notebook. Bada bing! Who doesn't want one of these guys, huh? So yeah, it's a good day to be here. Last time, in case you don't know, we had a complete internet debacle. So last episode doesn't exist. It's in the abyss of dead episodes. Hopefully, there won't be many more being added to that group. But it just is what it is. And we're going to go back to Tuesday, rather, and look at the same song because I wanted to actually talk about that song, which is Leave the Door Open, Girl. I'm going to leave the door open. I'm going to leave the door open. I'm going to leave the door open. Leave the door open by than Chords and Paak. Together they're Silk Sonic, I guess. I'm still a little bit new to me. I'm used to definitely seeing the two of them, but seeing them not as the group, so perhaps Silk Sonic is the name of their group. Not really sure yet, but okay, wait. So I like to say, Leave the Door Open is a debut single from Bruno Mars and Paak under the name Silk Sonic. Okay. So yeah, boom. So that's genius. Thank you, Genius, for that little tidbit. So yeah, this is a cool track. Tried to cover it last time, and the internet was going sideways on me. But we're not going to harp on that too much. But yeah, anyway. What is Music Notes? Let's get into it quickly because we don't have a lot of time. Music Notes is a live show where we talk about songs that are on the charts. And we talk about them from every which way we can in about 30 minutes, which is about, 7 categories, something like that? You'll see. It's going to happen right before your very eyes in just a moment. So, categories. Origins is one. Structural guideline, the arrangement, from melody to memory, cameos, and unanswered questions. So that's six categories. And not only are you going to love those categories, but maybe you'll be able to learn something about songwriting. Because that's kind of the goal of this, is for you to get the most out of this show. It's not really about me. It's not even so much about the songs, It's about you. It's about you, the songwriters, the song lovers, who just can't help but want to talk about songs just one more time for 30 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock. I'm on. I'm working on a new audio team here. How's the audio? Is it good? Can you hear me? Is it too bassy? good. Yeah. 5 minutes in, let's get in. This song by Silk Sonic, say that for short, is like an old school ballad. It's very inviting, okay? Leave the door open, right? This song is a series of questions. What you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans? Don't say that. I'm sipping wine. I'm in the robe. I look too good to be alone. My house is clean. Pool's warm. Just shaved, looking like a newborn. So you're feeling good, and you're feeling like you're too up to be alone, so you want to have some company. Well, you're gonna leave the door open. That's what this song is about, folks. You're gonna leave the door open for that love interest of yours to make their way in. It's an open invitation song. I'm gonna call it an invitation song. We're just gonna make that a category right in front of your face. Boom! Invitation song. Leave the door open. Right there in the name. Open door policy. That's what we're talking about in a song, but in a very beautiful balladeer kind of a way. So yeah, that's that. Let's get thinking about some other stuff here. After where the song comes from, what could we talk about next? I think it'd be a good idea to talk about structural guidelines. What are structural guidelines, folks? When I say people get really excited about structural guidelines, I mean, you can just hear it from the crowd.
Oh no.
You know, structural guidelines can be anything. Structural guidelines can be the tempo. If you know you want to write a dance song, you know you want it to be like this. Well, there's your tempo. That'd be your structural guideline. Structural guideline could be the style of song. In this case, they are singing like a ballad, right? It's like it's very just smooth, smooth like silk. I mean, Silk Sonics, right? That could be a structural guideline of some sort. Let's point out the major ones, though. The major structural guidelines, to me, and I feel like to most songwriters, are first and foremost the song structure. So in this case, we have intro coming first, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, outro. Okay. That actually is a pretty straightforward, kind of typical song there. You got verse 2, chorus, pre-chorus. Yeah, this is like basically the standard song. Let's go over it again for those of you who are here for the first time. Intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro. You just can't really go wrong with that song structure. It's just simple. Everybody's used to it. Boom. It works. Hopefully, what's his name doesn't come after me for the boom. Chill out, John Madden. Anyway, so that's the big song structure element for a songwriter or a musician, someone who's performing a song in public they probably want to know what's supposed to come next in the song. Is it the verse? Is it the chorus? Do they jump to the bridge? Blah, 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 right? Boom. Next, after that, the most important song structure element, let's see, is the chord structure. Usually, if you're playing songs, right, out of a songbook, you got a couple of things. You got a tempo on there, lively, you might say. It's going to have chords, right, usually. Could be like a little block tab kind of thing, looks like that. Or it could be just written out, C minor 7 or whatever. But that's going to tell you, if you're wanting to play along with the track, what the harmony structure is of each section. Are you singing over the top of a C chord, and then a D minor chord, and then a G chord, and then an F chord? Or are you playing C minor, C to A 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 minor? Totally different songs, right? And then on a fake book or a song book, you're probably going to have the melody, right? So the melody in and of itself is kind of a structural element, but I like to think about that as the one variable that just depends on itself, and that's it. That's the leader of the whole track. The harmony structure can actually change quite a bit, and you can still have the same song. But that's another story. Suffice it to say, if you're into songs and you want to be into songs on like a topical level, quick, fast, you can run them off the top of your head, then you're going to need to know song structures and chord structures, because that's what pretty much makes up a song. Anyway, so leave the door open chords. I'm going to my typical chord or tab site. You just search for the chords in the title, you'll get that. So what do we have on the intro? F major 7, G7, E minor 7, A minor 7. Then the verse, F major 7, G7, E minor 7, A minor 7. This says verse 2, okay? But on the other one, it categorized it as one big verse, which I'm actually going to stick with, because that lets it stay in like a basic, typical song format, which I think it really is. It's just that there's two people singing, so two people singing lead. So because of that, it's a little bit different. You could call it two verses. But anyway, so the intro, the verse, and then what you might call the second verse are the same. F major 7, G7, E minor 7, A minor 7. Then you got the pre-chorus, which goes into E flat major 7, A flat, G minor 7, F minor 7. So just looking at the chords and then to G7. Looking at those chords, that's a departure. Like an A flat and an A minor 7 are not in the same scale. Like, period. Right? So that's a shift. Then you go from a G minor 7 to a G7, which is not the same scale. And then, let's see, F minor 7. Over here we had an F major 7, now we got F minor 7. So this is like a whole key change is what I'm interpreting this as, just based on what I'm seeing right here. Then the chorus goes back to the F major 7, G7, E minor 7, A minor 7. So you might say there's like a lot of borrowed chords or something going on the pre-chorus. You might have to listen to that really carefully. And then the verse, F major 7, G7, E minor 7, A minor 7. Again, pre-chorus has the same structure as before. Chorus, same again. Bridge, A flat, G7, A flat, G7, G flat, F. I like the chorus, okay, A flat, G flat, A F minor 7, B minor, B flat minor. This is it looks like the final chorus is played to a somewhat different chord structure. So it's actually one of the most dynamic songs in terms of chord I've seen in a while. Perhaps the most dynamic chordal format that we've seen at all. Outro A flat, A flat, D flat, major 7, B flat, A flat, D flat, major 7, B flat. Like, for somebody who really likes like harmonization arrangement, you should really be giddy and smiling over this song, because this is definitely a big departure from the average song, which has like 4 chords and they just go on and on and on and on and on. So, you know, these are what I would consider 2 definite, obvious, like music genius level people coming together at the same time. And I imagine also their bands and what have you, so it's like it's probably some serious brain power going into this song. I feel like there's a lot of unique chord choices that are made within the structure of the song. Props to whoever wrote this out, listened to this, and figured out all these chords, because you have to, when it's not super obvious, you really have to do a little digging sometimes, you know? You might have to sit there and slow things down or play things over and over. And if you're trying to figure out the harmonization, perhaps, I'm sure there are people who can just hear perfectly whatever notes are being played, but most people would have to sit there and block out all these different, these unusual chords, especially because they're not diatonic. I'm just going to say that. I've been trying to avoid saying diatonic because I don't want to sound like I'm trying to be like confusing, but for the people who just want to talk about songs and not scales. But diatonic means that the notes all come from the scale. So if you're playing in the key of C, then all the notes come from the key of C, the scale of C, C major. If I play a C minor chord, that's not a diatonic chord because it has an E flat. So if it has an E flat, that E flat's not in the scale, it's not a diatonic chord. This song has a lot of non-diatonic chords, which is really cool. That's where you get a lot of really nice like tensions and things like that. A lot of like suspense, feelings of suspense is when you like shift things up out of the scale a little bit and puts things like on a tilt. Makes you want to come back even stronger to like the root tones. But anyway, I'm way off topic. I don't want to use too much time talking about chords. It's not a show about chords. This is a show about songwriting. And let me actually take this as a moment to say that if you think you have to know a gazillion things about chords to be a songwriter, you actually don't. If you look at most of the songs that we've covered on this show, most of them do not have a lot of chords at all. There's like I said, 4 chords maybe, and they repeat like most of the song. They might change for the bridge, that's it, and they go right back. Just super, super simple. You get the head kind of rocking side to side, and you just never change it. That's the typical thing. You have to do all these chord changes very masterfully, or else it can be very like off-putting to change chords that many times, you know, within the same song. That said, this is obviously done very, very well. Very, very well. Yeah, and I dig it. That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, structural guidelines, that's that. It can be anything, but those are the big 2. I guess 3 if you throw in the tempo. Chords, song structure, tempo, right? Boom! I'll at you, John Madden, whatever your name is, Don Madden. How much Madden I play. There really is no more Madden, right? I don't know. I don't really play video games much. Anyway, moving right along. What do we have next? The arrangement. All right, so this is like a 4-minute song. You got 2 people singing lead, so it's probably going to stretch it a little bit, right? I'm going to do my little flyby. We're going to talk about that. Starting now. All right, the opening is piano, like an organ or something, and some percussion. Then the vocals come in. It's call and response. Still got the keys and the bass. Real light handed on the drums. Still same thing going. Little build up. Okay, there's the modulation for the pre-chorus. Switches to Bruno Mars singing. Instrument drop going into the chorus. Flowing back into what's the original key, I believe. It's like some chimes or something here. Then it kind of gets rowdy going out. Dun, dun, dun. Comes to a stop. The beautiful background's going out wide. Nice little rolling transition. Drops back into a nice little bounce. Keys again. Now we got Anderson .Paak singing, or maybe he always was. Still keys. Less response this time and more like just background doing fills. Bruno on the pre-chorus. A little bit of like a walk on the chords. Freeze and drop. Again, little pretty bells. It's like echoing on the vocal. Builds up to like a quiet, which is kind of cool, right? Beautiful tails going into the bridge on the vocal. Bridges. All the instruments at once. Works up to another pretty like suspension and then drop. Kind of and then rebuilds, stops, and drops again. And the outro is vocals everywhere. Big builds on la-las and such. It's just a beautiful track. I don't even. There's so many like beautiful things happening at once that I almost just don't know what to say. Yeah, listen to that track. That's got it has an old school fade. Like that fade is sort of out of vogue nowadays. So it's cool that since they did it in style, they kept that old school fade out. I really love the way that track is done because I really love like just older music from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s. I just love that. And so to me, this, I don't know, it's beautiful. I don't think of myself as being in this mood perhaps very much. La 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 la. Like it's very. I don't make myself sound like I'm not romantic at all, but just It may be a little bit lovey. Is that weird? Anyway, it's not my normal thing to just bump around the streets, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Okay. But yeah, excellent arrangement, beautiful instrumentation. Just listen to that song and just enjoy it. It's just really done beautifully. I mean, things right. It's like what about it? It's really, really done well. So the melody. Tell me how you're coming to. I guess you like. So, in the beginning, I feel like the main thing that this song is really hinging off of is the call and response. What you doing? Like that back and forth. I don't have the lyrics up right now. Let's see. What you doing? What you doing? Where you at? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. You got plans. Don't say that. Shut your trap. I'm sipping wine, sip, sip, in a row, drip, drip, looking good, look too good to be alone. Woo, woo. Like that call and response. Where you at? I feel like is really the main thing that kind of lifts the melody into your mind there. It's like the melody's not really doing much. It's a real short burst. What? That is. You know what I mean? But the call and response really holds it. Then on the pre-chorus, the melody just really changes. I feel like it is like a journey. It's not so much a repetitive song. It has more like movements, you know? Because the I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. That is completely different than the what you doing? Where you doing? Where you at? Where you at? You got plans. Don't say all that. That's just almost conversational versus the I'm a little open. What else we got here? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're gonna lay in these arms, that much like again, it's not super repetitive. I ain't playing games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay these arms, what do you guys think? Put some comments somewhere, somebody, to think about this melodically. I feel like this song melodically is very much like a voyage. There's some repetition, but it's like it's a very free-spirited song from a singer's point of view. Like it's expressive, man. It's just a very, very, very expressive. Maybe that's the part that I don't feel like super resonant with a lot of the time, which is why I don't just like bump. I love music like this a lot, but that's what definitely this song is expressive. It just makes you feel, I don't know, lovey, I guess. I don't know why that's funny to me, but kind of is. Anyway, moving right along. We got like seconds left here. Seconds left. Creative cameos. The two of them together. I'm going to go with that. I'm running out of time. Unanswered questions. Definitely, does she show up? Of course she shows up, right? Of course she shows up. But it's still not answered. Maybe it's in the video. Check out the video. That's it, man. This is Music Notes. I'm Carlos Young, and I'm out. Bye.